This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
Today, from Circuit Jose Carlos Pache, it's the Global Sim Racing Channel's Round 8 coverage of the Batteries Not Included 2019 Spring Season Championship, streaming your way on the iRacing Esports Network. The good news for Mark Usher fans is their driver is undefeated this season, winning every event he has entered. The bad news is, with 7 races in the books, the Englishman has only competed 3 times. With 4 no-shows already, Usher's drop insurance has paid its final claim. Then there is Antonio Poveda, like Usher, very much in the championship hunt, but also very vulnerable to a bad points haul. When asked who has the best chance to win the title, pundits point not to Poveda, but to his fellow Spaniard, Xavi Ross. Still winless, Ross seems to always be racing near the front of the field. Will one of the aforementioned drivers secure his grip on the crown, or will someone else, someone like Germany's Thomas Seeger, or one of the Italian brothers, Marco or Danilo Sanfilippo, begin a late charge for the championship? Find out as all the simulated William FW31 action from green flag to victory donuts can be seen live as it happens right here on the Global Sim Racing Channel via the iRacing Esports Network. Hello everyone and welcome. Up in the booth to bring you our Word's Eye view, Stefan Slocker, joined by yours truly, Bill Soups On. Turning the knobs and pushing the sliders is our director, Sean Crackers Ambrose, armed with cameras locked and loaded by Dougie Beard. Stefan, for me as a fan, Interlagos has everything I want. A couple long straights with passing zones at each end, and plenty of technical sections to watch the drivers showcase their skills. What are your thoughts about this place?
Well, Soup, you got it nailed down pretty much already. The track is fast and slow at the same time. But let's go back to May 12th, 1942, the grand opening of this track. The track got renamed after the in 1977 tragically crashed Paulistano José Carlos Paz in 1985 from Autódromo do Interlagos to the now known Autódromo José Carlos Paz. Back to the tarmac though, your prime time overtaking spots are obviously up to the pit straight into Curva 1 and down Reta Oposta into Cesica de Lago. But let's get down to the technical facts here real quick. 15 turns, 2.676 miles in total, and an average speed of around 130 miles per hour, and that is quite surprising even though you have that very tricky and slow infield section. And if you're asking yourself now, how does that look from a driver's perspective, then don't ask any longer, because we're sending you now trackside with our GSRC lap guide.
Alright, we've got David Williams in the GSRC FW31, so let's do a lap around Interlagos. Coming down to the Senna S, the entry is going to be one of your best places to pass. Your competitor could fight back if they hold the outside, but it's difficult. The big thing is to make sure you've got a run out of 2 so that you can really carry your speed around the Curva de Sol and onto the backstretch. This is the next best place to set up a pass, under braking for Descida de Lago. The dip will make it easy for the car to want to push wide, but if you get it right, you're flat to the floor through 5. Hold left though, because it's not a long blast before we hit 6 and 7. The track rises here, and it's a double apex, making the second blind part extra difficult to nail. Drift left for a nice wide entry into 8 where the curb is extremely flat. You can get away with cutting quite a lot of it, so might as well use it. Now we're into the slower technical section of the track, where good mechanical grip will reward you. Here in Pico de Pato, you've got an especially tricky curved entry that crests on exit. Be careful getting the power down. From there, 11 is flat out, and you'll hold right to set up for Juncao. This is probably the most important corner on the track because it's foot to the floor all the way until the first corner from here. Botch this exit and you'll be climbing uphill at a severe disadvantage to your rivals. From here, it's simply a matter of shortening the circuit as much as you can around the bends and crossing the line to finish a lap around Interlagos.
Joe Peak doing what few do better, and that is take the viewer around a road course. This time it is Interlagos in an FW31. All right. To help the viewers understand the championship race, GSRC is doing something unique. We are showing both the raw point standings and the drop or net standings. And depending on whether you're Lokai or Beal, who's the point leader is very much open for debate. Now, if raw points are the only thing that you considered, what you've earned is what you get, then Spain's Xavi Ross would appear to be the guy in charge. We look at those right now. He's shown up every race, and while still looking for his first win, he always finishes well. Germany's Thomas Sieger has fallen out of the top spot. Marco Sanfilippo leapfrogs his brother, Danilo. And then there is Kevin Jimenez in fifth. Now, let's look at the flip side of this. Let's look at drop races. You only get to keep your best 8. So 4 of them have to be thrown away. If we throw away the 4 races that drivers won't get to use, well, look at that droplet by the names there by Mark Usher. That's a 0. Those are his 3 wins. 596, that's his total. The 0 down there are the points that he has in his pocket if he has a bad result. If he has another drop race, he will score nothing. He is here today, though. Now, Antonio Poveda, he's just 6 points back. Look at Ross and Sanfilippo, though. They are forced to throw away, get this, 171 points that Ross cannot use and 150 points that Sanfilippo cannot use. That's the difference when you look at the 2 points. Tommy Anhola gets to drop all of his bad results, so he sneaks on to the top into 5th place there. All right. As the season goes on, those 2 charts will begin to intersect as more drop races are thrown away because you can only keep 8 of them. All right, let's go to something that only takes 1 overlay to look at. Stefan, what about the race details?
Well, this is the last round of the second third of this season. Obviously, round 8 of 12 there. Race length, 47 laps today, so quite a long race because these laps are quick to tap by here. 1 pit stop is, as always, required. Setups completely open. They're gonna need it because this track is always a handful to set up and to drive incident cap. Gotta be careful. 17 standard for iRacing, but you can, with these cars, abuse the track limits a bit too much, and then you can run into some real problems. For the BNI Championship, they're using the official iRacing points that you would get also in the iRacing Grand Prix series that they're utilizing here. So no longer a hosted racing series, but in the official racing here. And Soup, qualifying is already going on in the background.
Boy, drivers are putting in their times. Xavi Ross sitting up front, Thomas Sieger in 2nd position. I want to point out that there were 25 drivers that wanted to race in this event, but because this series has such a low split point, what do we get here today, Stefan? Our field is just, 12 or 13, I guess.
Yeah, 13. Yeah, 13. You got it quite right there. I think it's because this track doesn't feature normally more than 20 or 25, so they have a lower split number here. We already had that once this season where we had only 26 sign up, even though split number is 26. On some tracks it can split because of how many pit stalls they originally have on the track.
Mark Usher jumps to the top of the qualifying. We look at the English driver in his familiar dark blue color. Ross is here. Seeger is here. Both the Sanfilippo brothers are here. Antonio Poveda is also here, but has yet to put in a qualifying time. There's Usher, 3 races entered, 3 wins, looking to go 4 for 4. No room for error from here. there's our Mark Usher going to pull off there. He's happy with that lap. Puts in a 1:11.771.
And
Nope.
so we have to say something here. The weather quite interesting today. Only 84 degree Fahrenheit on the track, 81 Fahrenheit on in the air. Mostly cloudy weather, so we're not going to expect any sun here today. Kind of looks like Austria right now. The winds are from the northeast, 7 miles per hour there or thereabouts, and the humidity 54%, not that high, but that track surface is probably going to cause a little bit of a spin because of cold tires and tires that take long to get up to their optimal pressure.
Clouds hanging oppressively low in the heavens. Antonio Poveda still not putting in a time. He has time to get qualifying is done.
Yep.
It looks like he's going to miss out. Oh, no. So maybe we'll only have 12 drivers on the grid. It's small. Stefan will take it a row at a time. On the front row, a couple big names, Mark Usher and Xavier Ross, who's in row 2.
The German Thomas Sieger in his number 8 puts it in 3rd place alongside the Austrian Thomas Noll.
5th and 6th is Ian Ash, and watch out for Clayton McLeod. He can be fast.
Marco Sanfilippo, the row of the Sanfilippos. Next up in row 4, Marco Sanfilippo ahead of Danilo Sanfilippo.
Christian Rose is going to be in the 9th position. He's inside of Mustafa Erdend.
Rodrigo Capiretto, the Brazilian, at his home track lining up alongside Mehdi Mokrani.
And good news, Antonio Ortiz Poveda is there. The bad news is he's back in the Baker's Dozen spot. He'll have some work to do, but at least it's a small field. If you're ever going to miss qualifying, do it when there's only 13 drivers racing. You only have 12 in front of you. Okay, as Stefan so poetically put it, this is the last race of the second third of the series. Round number 8 of 12. I go through that convoluted points with a drop race and raw points, and then you come and put it that way. I thought that was funny. Should be a good one today. Let's see if Mark Usher can go wire to wire. You hear the engine start to harmonize. Gather up the chickens, take covering on the cows. The horses are out of the barn. Mark Usher leads them down into the first corner. Look at that, though.
What a start from
Ortiz!
Oh, no!
Diving in so deep. That was Thomas Noll. Oh, my goodness. Took it in hotter than a curling iron on Venus, and it didn't work.
Antonio Ortiz Poveda already challenging Clayton McLeod for P4, and he gets it! What a start!
Danilo Sanfilippo works his way around Ian Ash. Sanfilippo up a spot. All this going on behind Mark Usher. Usher trying to pull away. Xavier Ross will have none of it. We've seen this before. Ross will do his best to hang on Usher as long as he can, but eventually the Brit will start to distance himself. Big mistake on corner number 1 early on. Took out a few drivers. We'll go back when the action allows. Go, Steph.
I don't know what to say about that start from Antonio Ortiz Poveda. Just what a blistering start. I think that was the best reaction time I've ever seen in a virtual race. That was close to Bottas at Spielberg here a couple of years ago. And then the shoot off the line, getting past that wreck, and already in P4, only about 3 seconds behind Mark Usher. I expected him to run through the field like he stole something, but that was faster than I expected.
He's got about a second and a half to get up to the German driver, Thomas Sieger. Let's drop back a little bit farther back and look at this battle. It's a 3-car battle between Danilo Sanfilippo, Ian Ash, and Marco Sanfilippo.
Yeah, and Danilo jumped both Marco and Ian, so he also had a really good start. Same with Mehdi Mokrani, who started in P12 and is now up to P9. But Danilo Sanfilippo already starting to gap Ian Ash, and Marco not having as much luck with getting past Ian so far.
And if you look at that, you can see the train is long. It also includes Christian Rose and Thomas Knoll. Rodrigo Capoletto in the mix back there in 11th as well, all within shouting distance of each other as that they go down into corner number 1. And look at this. That's Marco Sanfilippo taking a peek on Ian Ash, and Ash does not get a good drive off the corner. Sanfilippo with a big run, looking for somewhere to put the car. I'm going to put it there. Side by side, Cialis bathtubs. If they head down into the left-hander, in the preferred position is Marco Sanfilippo. He gets some spot, move him up into 6th.
And meanwhile, that was going on. Rodrigo Capoletto got past Thomas Knoll for P10 too. So 2 passes in the matter of just a few meters at Mokrani, now under attack from Ash, and Ash goes past.
But he fights back with the momentum. Here comes Mokrani. Good racing going on. Rose getting in the mix. Capoletto coming in as well. All the excitement back here in 7th.
Mokrani proving me wrong in just a matter of a few meters there. Great job by him keeping up the momentum. I think Ian Ash, he overshot the turn himself a little bit. That was, if I'm not mistaken, Essa. Tricky corner. He proved it right there, and Mokrani keeps his P8.
Let's look up front. Usher trying to drive away. He's got about 7/10 of a second on Ross. Thomas Seeger's done a good job of holding off Poveda. When we talked about it last time, the gap was about 1.5 seconds. It's now up to 2 seconds between the German driver and the Spanish driver. The action up in the top 4, not all that exciting compared to what we were watching farther back. Let's go back to 5th.
Yes,
let's look at Danilo Sanfilippo and Marco Sanfilippo.
The fight of the Sanfilippos, the 2 Palermo drivers there, and their beautiful liveries, going through Pinerino now into Pico de Pato. Slow turn.
Go back and look at that again. In the raw points, Marco is ahead of Danilo. He's also leading him in the net points as well. So on track, Marco's got a little bit to do to get around his brother. Small field of 13 drivers here today. We have that first lap incident bookmark. Maybe we can go back and, while things are settling down right now, go back and take a look at that lap 1 incident.
Yeah, just an interesting start there already, and then just an interesting incident there between Thomas Knoll and I don't know who was that on the outside. I think that was Seeger actually. And yeah, Knoll just, I think, a little bit too late on the brakes, taking a little bit too much momentum there, and just collects the car off Seeger.
Yeah, and then there was Clayton McLeod who got a piece of Knoll going by as well. That's why McLeod is well down in 12th position. We're back live now.
Actually, I have to say, it might also have been that Seeger slowed down a bit too much there and then cut across, and Knoll wasn't expecting that, and ultimately it's a racing incident, but I think there were more factors in play than just Knoll missing his braking point a little bit.
That's good. We always like to look at both sides of the coin if we can. Let's look at 7. This is Mokrani being chased by Ian Ash. Ash has been up and down. He's been passed and has made pass, and look at this. Here comes Rose on the back of Ash right now. Best battle on the track, this battle for 7th between Mokrani, Ash, and Rose.
Yeah, and Suk, you said it. Look out for Christian Rose.
Here he comes.
Here comes Ash, and he goes past on the brakes. What a move by Ian Ash.
For now. Yeah, follow up on what you're thinking about Rose. Rose is coming too.
Rose is coming too, and he is by far the fastest of these 3 cars. Last lap about 7/10 faster than both Mokrani and Ash.
So you might want to think, how far back are these guys? Well, Mokrani's about 15 seconds behind the leader of Mark Usher. Usher with a 1.5 second lead over Ross right now. Great.
this
Got
fighting
Capoletto in the mix.
has allowed Capoletto to catch these 3 cars. So the train of 3 is now a train of 4. 2 white cars, a Williams livery, and a black one. So you really have to be careful who to look at the front, because they both also have a red helmet.
About just a tick under 2 seconds back from these guys is Mustafa Erdin, who's going to be coming soon if this battle continues. Ash trying to pull away a bit. The top 4 cars are separated. Oh, look at that. That was Mukrani with a bit of a mistake, and that really brought Rose into the mix. Rose in a sandwich. He's got Capoletto behind him, and we will look ahead from Rose's car at Mukrani.
Honestly, I would look out for Capoletto behind him, because he's Brazilian, it's his home track, he is extra motivated. And who wouldn't? Who wouldn't?
Little home cooking. They work through the technical section. Let's go take a look at the 3rd position. All right, the German driver. He had it up to almost 2 seconds last time we checked in, but Paveda's coming. Now, I don't know if Seeger made a mistake or if Paveda's has been at a good pace, but he's there now.
Poveda right now is the 2nd fastest car in this race. Fastest car, obviously, Mark Usher, who you just saw put up a new fast lap of this race, a 1:12.754. And Antonio Ortiz Poveda, just to give you a reference, last lap a 1:13.230, so he's about 5/10 off the pace of Mark Usher.
They work through the technical section, through duckbill now, through dive, out into junction. As I give you the English translations of these names, back up to the pits, and out onto the main straight.
As through Subida dos boxes they go, up through the pit straight, quite a big incline here. Into Kurva they go, and Antonio Ortiz Poveda losing a little bit down the pit straight, actually.
Now we go back into this battle a little farther back in the track. And look at this move. There comes Capoletto, and the pass is made on the inside of Mukrani. So Capoletto gets up into 9th. See if he can run down Christian Russ.
Last lap once again did count for Rodrigo, so he's picking up quite a few incidents already. I'm seeing quite a few laps that didn't count. It's now his 3rd lap that didn't count for him, so he really has to be careful what he does with the track limits.
We have 13 drivers take to the grid. All 13 are racing, all still on the lead lap, including the cars that were involved in that first lap incident. Clayton McLeod and Thomas Knoll.
Xavi Ross made a mistake because he's now in the middle of this fight, which is now for P2. So Xavi Ross with a costly mistake. There's Mark Usher yet again with the fastest lap, but 12.489 really puts on a show at this point. And Thomas Seeger now, from being under attack, he is the aggressor.
We'll stay on this battle. We've been watching the mid-pack battle for a while. Give us an opportunity to watch these drivers up front. Ross sitting number 1 in your raw points as Seeger sits number 2. Poveda sits number 2 if you take into account drop races. So lots of top drivers here. And of course Usher, you don't even see him on the raw points because he's only raced 3 times, but he won them all. We're going to go 4 for 4. Boy, how about Seeger just doing a good job staying on the back of Ross right now.
The question is, does Xavi Ross start again with his multiple mistakes that he does race in, race out? Or is he finally able to stay problem-free from here on out? Because Xavi Ross when he's under pressure or trying to chase someone, he really can crack open wide and starts to make mistake after mistake, costing him tires. And that always in cars like these is extremely costly, especially if you have a track temperature of 83 Fahrenheit like we have right now.
For the most part, his mistakes are like pinpricks. He never really crashes the car, but he spins it. He always races, goes back out there and races again. But yeah, he loses a lot of time on the grass. He starts to open up now on Seeger. Poveda is seconds up on the two Sanfilippo boys who race back for 5th. Remember, Poveda started in 13th, was not able to put in a qualifying time.
And to quickly close out on that Xaviros topic, you wouldn't get much of a highlight reel if you would put up one with his best hits, because he doesn't have them, but you still would get quite a few spins of him.
Yeah. Hey, here comes a run from Seeger. I think he's got a shot at it. Look at the defensive line from Ross moving to the outside as the German driver. They go down into one. Ross took the defensive line. He fends them off. They'll have to wait and try again.
Both with a very bad line though. And Ortiz Poveda with quite some momentum now onto the back of Thomas Seeger.
He might get 2
for him.
Seeger, oh my! Look at that car dart to the left and then back.
That even scared out Antonio Ortiz Poveda. He now is on the inside, but he is on the outside for Ferradura. Can he stick it there? Yes, he can. What a drive.
So just like that, Thomas Seeger, who had visions of getting up to a podium spot, now finds himself back in 5th.
That was a power pass by Antonio Ortiz Poveda. Can't describe it anything else, because around the outside of Ferradura, which is a corner that is off-cambered on the outside, really isn't easy at all. And doing it like that with so much momentum over the car on the inside is just incredible.
These guys race about 9 seconds behind our leaders. They come across the line. Everybody working lap number 13. Our pit stops.
Last lap, because of the fighting they did, Xavier Ross with a 113.8 compared to a 112.5 of Mark Usher. His last few laps all within 2/10 of his 112.489, which still stands as the current fastest lap of this race.
Early on, the drivers up front were separated. The action was mid-pack and farther. Right now, all the mid-pack drivers have separated. The action is up front. We're not missing anything back there. This is where we want to be as we watch the 2 Spanish drivers ahead of the German driver. Poveda with a good run, but nowhere to do it. Let's go ahead. I think we're going to be able to make a pass here. This will be great as we watch. We're not going to go on board with Seeger. We'll see what Poveda can do here. He's about 2 car lengths back. He gets a really good run. He's got the momentum. He wants to force the issue. Ross takes the familiar line that worked, the defensive line that worked against Seeger. He's going to try it against Poveda. They are side by side into one. Look for Poveda to go up and under. Not going to happen this time. Ross fends him off. Poveda clearly the faster of the 2 drivers, I think.
Does it yet again though. Poveda with the better line gets the momentum and the draft on the inside now for Decido Dolago. Does he get it? Yes, he does, but not without fighting. Xaviros now in P3.
At least he didn't have to do it around the outside of 6 like he did last time. Now let's see if he can pull away. He's done almost all he wanted to do. 13th. He's passed 11 drivers. Only 1 more to go, and that would be Mark Usher. That gap, well, he's got 11 seconds to make up in 34 laps. And look at this, Poveda, once he gets around Ross, now trying to distance himself. Ross goes a little bit wide. And there goes Poveda. See you later, boy, like you're a skater boy. In second, comfortably now. AOP.
You know who really
Oh!
thinks that as Seeger?
A
With
trip
a
through the
mistake
beach.
there. Yeah, just 2 tires on the grass there. That's never gonna work, braking. But the guy who really thinks that, that's Mark Usher. Once again, you saw it. A fastest lap to his name as we take you on board with that replay. Just have to look out at left side, right side tires. Just leaves them on the grass.
Yeah, he closed in on Ross a little faster than he thought, and he wasn't sure if he wanted to make the pass. And I said, I'm going to make the pass. No, I'm not going to make the pass. And then I'll just put it out here so I don't get into the gearbox.
You know, Super.
Here's a battle.
That mistake is actually quite easy to make there, turn 1, because it curves ever so slightly to the left during the braking already. So it really is easy to make those mistakes, to go on the grass and just shoot straight along the old layout of this track.
Clayton McLeod. Oh no, we're not looking at McLeod. I'm wrong here. We're looking at McCroney and Erden in this battle. I thought it was McLeod that has worked his way up, but McLeod has struggled. Pulled Missy Fathers down.
Had a stop already.
So this is a battle for 10th. McCroney up 2 spots from where he qualified. Erden down 1. I thought Erden was going to run up and maybe get into the mix with some of those other guys ahead of him. That didn't happen. Small field. We can look at these guys race a bit.
Kind of interesting with McCroney. He got up a few positions at the start as Mustafa Erden really comes now. Does he take it to the inside? Yes, he does. And look at that braking. Easily makes that overtake on the brakes, and what I want to say about McCroney is that he got himself quite a few positions. He was up to P7 at one point and then gradually drops off now back to P11. Starting from P12, I think he gained a few positions because of mistakes and other stuff and just isn't up there pace-wise as of right now.
So Mustafa gets up into 10th now, and he's got about just a tick under 3 seconds to get Capoletto, and he looks like he might actually be faster. He's closing the gap on Capoletto really quickly. Yeah, Capoletto must have had an issue. He was off the pace.
Yeah, Capoletto doing normally 14s. There he goes, 14.666 compared to a 14.583 of Aaron. He still is faster, but Rodrigo Capoletto had a little bit of a mistake that cost him about 2 seconds in lap 50.
All right, all you little soldiers in Soup's clipboard army, let's mark down this gap here. With 31 laps to go, the interval between Mark Usher and Antonio Ortiz-Poveda is, well, 13 seconds. In fact, Poveda not having a real good lap as Ross is back in the hunt now. Look at this. I think Ross is going to have a shot at second place. Let's see what type of line Poveda takes, Stefan. Going to leave the inside open if he wants it. Too far back.
Ross not able to close in at all. Under the draft really stalls out. Doesn't even do anything in the draft. That's really weird to see. So Cyrus most definitely running more downforce than his teammate.
We've seen that a lot, and here he has another run, but boy, he just cannot close as they get into 4. Now, with all that downforce, this is where Ross should be good through this technical section.
Yeah, but this also opens up the problem that this section is not passable whatsoever, as Thomas Knoll had a little bit of an issue there through Pin Arena, so he was on the grass there.
Yeah, Knoll just getting out of the way as he's made his stop. He's good to go the distance. We'll keep an eye on him. Yeah, let's go back up to the second this. We're looking at this driver here for a second. And sure enough, Ross was really comfortable through the twisty parts. But now as we open it up, this is where you would think he'd get in the toe and he would run down Poveda easily. But honestly, he doesn't even make the effort. The car just will not suck up.
Yeah, at the end of the straight, he was only 3 miles per hour faster then his teammates really Ross not able to do anything with just that little bit of an overshoot on top speed.
It's hard to race with a car that is just as fast as the car next to you, but you're quicker in the technical section because that's where it's hard to pass. Poveda's car maybe not so fast through the twisty parts, but boy, when he needs to make the pass, the car goes for him. They are now almost 14 seconds behind Mark Usher. Coming up on Clayton McLeod soon. Clayton, a veteran, he'll know how to get out of the way. His race went south early. Corner number 1, lap number 1. There you see McLeod, the very top of your screen right there. There he is. Quick driver, qualified in 6th. We were looking for big things from him. Not going his way today.
Yeah, so far the only guy to really hold up a show was Antonio Ortiz Poveda, who is following him, who we're looking at there over the big rear wing of the FW31.
Right off the back of, what car are we on? You don't know? Well, then you need to go back to school because it's right there. Read the wing.
It goes to the outside now. Oh, or not. Poveda thought he's letting him by, but Clayton McLeod slams the door on that P2.
2 laps down, he says, you boys just wait till we get to a safe place to make the pass. Well, Clayton now with about a 4 or 5 car length lead here. Let's see if he lifts and let these guys by. Or if he fights them down into corner number 1. The battle, Ross, this is as close as Ross has been on the back of Poveda for a long time. Still nothing done. And look at this. Clayton McLeod. I guess they tell me to race my line. That's what he's going to do.
McLeod really not Canadian-like right now. Fighting for his position there over P2.
How he
Doesn't
can't
even lift there with Antonio Ortiz Poveda on his inside. That's really not how you should drive as a lap down car. Now Poveda under pressure from Xavi Ross.
All right, let's try see if I can see some type of justification for McLeod to be racing so hard. He's 1 lap down. Maybe he's racing the guys that are on the lead lap. He's made his final stop.
And
my goodness,
once again closes the door on the braking of Poveda. Doesn't even lift. Comes back through this left-hander up into Chonsao. Still doesn't lift. And nearly collects on the outside there. Xavi Ross with a mistake from himself. Clayton McLeod really not under any pressure whatsoever, making it extremely hard for these 2 guys. Drafts up now on these 2. Finally lifts there. Clayton McLeod really not gentlemanlike at all.
You know, somebody needs to do a DNA test on McLeod. Make sure he wasn't like a Canadian parents adopted somebody from Brazil. That was some aggressive racing for a guy in last position.
Kinda reminded me there a little bit of, I think that was the Force India or Racing Point F1 of Esteban Ocon, who had that with Max Verstappen. Kinda looked like that. Clayton McLeod not giving up a single inch there. Nothing happened, thankfully, like it happened in real life. But Xavi Ross really had an opportunity on Poveda, but Poveda was able to still withstand the pressure of his teammate.
But when it all comes out in the wash, no harm done. And a little bit of action on the broadcast, so we can thank Clayton for that one. We didn't have a lot to look at. Let's go back and see how Clayton plays with Thomas Seeger, who's coming up on him. Again, I think a lot of this might be the case of McLeod had a fast car and was a little bit upset about being taken out early, just trying to get a little fun in right now.
Yeah, you know, he probably thought broadcast probably is a bit Lame. Let's put up a show.
Yeah. Honestly, we should be thanking him. Here comes the German driver right up behind. Boy, gets right in there. Clayton keeps a nice straight line. Thomas Seeger goes right through.
Yeah, and interestingly enough, Seeger, way easier for him to pass Clayton McLeod down the straight. So Seeger most definitely running way less downforce than the 2 cars ahead of him.
Just to close the book on the McLeod story, that is your defending champion. So, he knows what it's like to be up front and dealing with lapped cars. Good to see get Clayton a little bit of screen time. Let's go back and look at this battle back here for 9th, Capoletto and Mustafa Erden.
Yeah,
now, this is the one we talked about, right? Where Erden was got around Mukrani and then ran down Capoletto. Oh! And now goes by him. Capoletto careful, bringing the car back out. Here comes Mukrani. He gets it out in front of Mukrani. We got that one live for you. Go ahead, Steph.
We left the battle between Mukrani and Erden and said that he's gonna catch Capoletto. And Capoletto, as soon as he got under pressure there into Esse, he just completely loops the car there. I don't even think that was due to any throttle application there, but just a little bit too much steering wheel angle there, and just a little bit too much throttle or speed that he tried to take through Esse, and loops it around. No harm, no foul. Just lost the position down to P11. He goes.
But what? And now it's about pit stop time. Our first one coming in is one of the San Felipe boys. It's going to be Danilo. He's in and out. Slots out into 8th position.
Yeah, and he's not even close to anyone, so good pit stop for him. He can go his own pace, doesn't have to worry about overtaking anyone or being overtaken by anyone. So San Filippo, gonna be interesting. Will Marco, his brother, react to that? No, he won't. Goes past yet another time.
He was ahead of Marco when they came in for the stop. Now let's look at these 2 Spanish drivers going at it. Veda and Ross. 16 seconds behind Mark Usher. We talked about Clayton McLeod being your defending champion. He won that by 1 point over Mark Usher last season. Usher's Achilles heel again was attendance, as he had quite a collection of wins, but too many no-shows to make up the gap. Usher in the similar situation this season. Oh, and we got a...
Usher, he goes into pit lane.
We got a spin, I believe, that just happened. Was it Capoletto? Yeah, let's see if we can get that one. Macroni had got right behind him, and Capoletto noses it into the wall.
And you saw it there, quite a damaged car. Lost his complete nose cone.
Here, we're going to get it here.
Out of turn 3, apparently.
Boom.
There we go, turn 2. Oh, turn 2, and then, wow. Interesting accident there by Capoletto. Just loops it on the throttle, but I honestly have to say I've never seen a car on an issue like that just completely spear off like that.
So things went bad for Capoletto quick. He got passed by Erden, and then Macroni got behind him, and he made the mistake. And now Capoletto, well, he does not bring it in. I thought he was going to bring it in for a stop, but he does not.
I think he doesn't even know that he has that damage. Now he comes in. There he goes.
Now he comes in. There we go. Usher has made his stop. In and out. And we got ourselves a new leader. That's some news. It's got to be Paveda, right? Sure enough.
Sure is. From 13th to 1st. First only due to pit stops. But that doesn't matter. Antonio Paveda now leading your motor race, and what a story his race has been.
Okay, let's stay. Oh, look at this. Ross really wants a spot. This is my section. He might want to force it. He might want to actually try to get us something done here through this twisty section. Maybe not into this corner. If he's close enough, maybe he might want to force it down here into duckbill, but no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, the real thing here is they are fighting for position. Now, Xavier Ross, as we said earlier, he is your right now leader, raw points standing. But if we take it to the drop points, Antonio Ortiz Poveda, he is ahead of his teammate of Xavier Ross by 7 points. And they are in total 6 or 13 points respectively behind Mark Usher. So this really is a very close battle, not only on track but also in the standings.
It's got to be the setup. Ross's car just has no straight line speed. This will be fun as we ride on board with Ross. He'll be right on the gearbox of his countrymate. But again, he gets up there, just has nothing to do. Unless he wants to force the issue. And he might do that, but maybe not with 20 laps to go. All right, now the other Sanfilippo has come in. We expect Danilo to get him. Danilo is going across right now, and sure enough, no, this is going to be close. Marco's coming out on track.
This is going to be very close. Danilo will have the overspeed, but I think Marco actually has him here.
Yeah.
And sure enough does. That's interesting. So it seems like Danilo had some problems there, especially because last lap a full second off his own pace. So Danilo had a mistake in the last lap, costing him the position over his brother.
And was about a second longer in the pit box as well. Speaking of pitting, it's got to be time for these guys to come in, but nope, they're going to stay out one more time.
Everyone stays on. Let's actually compare the lap times between them and Mark Usher. Mark Usher with a 13.158 and Antonio Ortiz Poveda 12.7. So at this point, Ortiz Poveda is making up some ground to Mark Usher.
"13 drivers took the grid. They're all still racing. Pitting from what would be 5th position is Ian Ash. He now drops down to 7th and will lose a few more spots as cars go by. He comes out. He was in a battle with Christian Rose. We'll see how that plays out. Rose did not pit. And as the leaders come around this time, it's got to be pit stop time for Poveda this time, right? Let's find out.
17 laps to go, and they all jump into pit lane. The top 2 does Thomas Seeger do too? Yes, he does too. So everyone is pitting off your top 3. That hands back the lead to Mark Usher, who already goes past both of them.
A good job of closing on pit entrance for Xavier Ross. Got right in behind Poveda. Did the German driver come in as well? He did.
Oh, Xavier Ross nearly looped it there on the pit exit. Has to be careful through the long pit exit or lane here now. And also does that perfectly. But Xavier Ross, out of his pit stop, nearly loops it because he had so much tire spin on throttle application. Keeps it together though, lost a little bit out to Ortiz Poveda actually.
Yeah, he did indeed. The pit stops worked out well for Poveda. All right, 2 drivers yet to pit. Christian Rose and McCroney. There's our leader, Mark Usher.
The new and old leader, Mark Usher. Last lap 12.9. What does he do this time around? He is by far the fastest driver of this field. At 12.8 he does this time around. Gap between himself and Antonio Ortiz Poveda on your screen right now, about 12 seconds. And then you have about a second back to Xavier Ross, who is sitting in 3rd place.
So many things worked into Usher's favor, including the small field size. Not only is he fast, but he doesn't have Boy, Rose has yet to pit. Doesn't have any lap traffic to deal with. All right, now Rose is in 5th. That is Thomas Knoll behind him. Rose continues to stay out. Him and McCroney yet to stop. McCroney is not going to stop. He stays out as well.
Very, very interesting, if I might add, that these two drivers can drive so much longer than anyone else on their pit stop. Pit stop delta about 20 seconds here. Sorry, about 23 seconds here because of how long and slow compared to the cars going past this pit lane is.
So Rose, who races in 5th right now, we'll pick him up. We figure he's going to lose spots to both the San Filippo boys. Probably Ian Ash, but we'll see if he can get out. Well, McCroney has yet to pit, so he'll get out in front of McCroney. We expect him probably to come out in 9th position when this is all done. So here he comes. And going by is Marco Sanfilippo and Danilo Sanfilippo. Ian Ash goes by, and McCroney's got to come in this time as well. And by then, Rose will have left. And he does. He comes out in
Wow.
8th position.
Actually, incredible. Mokrani once again goes past. Have we missed his pit stall? Is he really still pit stop free? Director says, yep, so Mokrani, interesting how he can just stay out and just drive and drive and drive. It's like he has a fuel tanker with him.
Uh-oh, Xavi Ross right now. Quick replay. Does what he does, makes a mistake. And boy, this time he gets a little bit of the wall, though. Let's take a look at this one.
A little bit of a wall touch there as we go into replay. It's gonna happen into Shunzhao. Just catches the curb on the inside. There you can see it and overcorrects it. And then very off-cambered, very steeply off-cambered grass there. He can't catch it at all in time for the wall. And the wall is the thing to stop.
So we come back, and now he's got 3 seconds up on Seeger. Ross now in 3rd. He's well off the pace of Poveda, who's 7 seconds up. So you got Ross. Now right behind Ross, that is Rodrigo Capoletto. He is, going to be 2 laps down. Has he pitted yet? Yes, he did. McCroney, who we're waiting on. And then Seeger in 4th. All right. McCroney working through the technical section, coming down into the horseshoe. Qualified in 12th, racing in 9th. Still on the lead lap. It'll be a tough call to see if it'll be fun to see when he makes the stop if he gets out in front of Usher. McCroney into Duckbill. Usher just getting to the horseshoe right now. I think Usher's going to get him.
Yeah, I think he should be easily getting Mokrani with his pit stop, which pretty sure he has to do this time around. Otherwise, I'm calling fuel hacks on him.
Yeah, stay out, baby. Here we go.
Once
and
again.
stay it out. That's right. Run it till it's dry. A gas tank emptier than a syrup bottle after a pancake social. Oh, he misses corner number 1.
Ortiz, sorry, I'm having my eye on Ortiz Poveda, who once again is trying to go past Clayton McLeod, and Clayton McLeod once again slams his door in Pico de Pato.
All right, we're going to take a replay of that.
That was probably the closest thing I've ever seen that did result in a crash. There you can see it, Clayton McLeod very wide, and once again Poveda thinking he's gonna take.
Now we come back live. Antonio's got to be careful. He's got 6 seconds up on Ross. Now he pulls alongside. He's in the preferred position. The car doesn't go. McLeod is there, but McLeod's a veteran. He'll fight him hard, but he'll fight him clean. Gets the run off the end. McLeod's having a good time. Just having some fun. I'm the defending champion. And the pass is made.
And this did cost vital seconds to of Ortiz Poveda down to Xavier Ross. Last lap he lost a second, and this time around I'm pretty sure he lost even more. You can probably imagine there Antonio Ortiz Poveda probably steaming because of how hard Clayton McLeod makes it for him, as Mokrani once again went past the pit lane.
That's an easier pill to swallow when you have a 6-second lead over the guy that's chasing you. By the way, once Ross got the car back out on the track, he does what he does. He drove away from Seeger.
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised that Ross didn't take any damage from that wall hit. It was quite a substantial amount of hit. And sweet. Look at his car, and there just isn't anything. You have to look out for that right side of his car. There you can see just nothing at all. Looks factory new. Probably the underfloor has some damage, but that we can't see. So Xyros really lucky to not get anything.
And McCarney stays out one more time. We're going to take you through the field as soon as McCarney makes his pit stop.
If he ever makes one.
Yes, it's with 12 laps to go.
Probably right now races it on safety car fuel mode, so he takes the most amount of time.
You know what? Let's assume we'll just go through the field anyway. Here we'll wait for McCarney. Let's start up front. Here he is. Let's alternate these, Steph. I'll take the odds. You take the evens. Mark Usher started on the pole. He lost the lead a little bit when he had to come in for a pit stop, but he's got 12.5 seconds up on the man who's chasing him. Usher looking to go 4 for 4 in races he's entered this season. Steph?
Antonio Ortiz Poveda right now doing damage protection there. And what a hell of a job he does, starting from P13 up to P4 and just after 3 turns. And right now sitting quite comfortably ahead of P3.
Very much deja vu from last round where Xavi Ross tried to stay with Mark Usher early on, did the best he could, lost the position to Poveda, made a little mistake, is still ahead of the German driver who races behind him.
Thomas Ziegler, that is started in P3 out of the Thomas row, so to speak, that we had at the start. That was made up by Thomas Ziegler and Thomas Knoll. But Thomas Ziegler, after a little bit of contact with Knoll, he stays right now in 4th place.
We had the Thomas roll, and then behind them we had the San Filippo roll. And right now it's Marco. Marco leads his brother in the points and leads him on the track as he races in 5th, up 2 spots from where he gridded.
His brother, that is Danilo Sanfilippo. Very hard to have a distinct difference between them, but the best is their helmet. Danilo running with a green, a white, red helmet, and right now is running in P6.
Ian Ash was in a battle early. Things have settled down a little bit, and he's comfortably racing in 7th position. He's about 7 seconds behind Danilo Sanfilippo, and it has about a 4-second gap to 8th.
Christian Rose, your driver in P8, started from a 9th in his number 3 car with his beautiful Williams livery. He right now is a whopping 48.3 seconds behind your current leader of Mark Usher.
All right, Cinderella staying late at the ball is Midi Makrani as he stays out there in 9th. Still waiting for him to pit. When he does pit, we figure he will fall a lap down, maybe fall as far down as 12th. But right now, he's in 9th. Stefan?
In P10, that is Mustafa Erden, the first car a lap down. He started in P10, still in P10. Very quiet race from the number 13 car.
The defending champion, Clayton McLeod, races in 11th. He started in 6th, got into an incident on corner number 1 of lap 1. We have seen him be very racy, though, with some of the lap cars as they come around, including Antonio Poveda and Xavi Ross. He is in 11th.
The before mentioned very unlucky Thomas Knoll is starting from the Thomas row down in P12 after a huge incident between himself, Thomas Ziegler, and Clayton McLeod, bearing very big damage to his car, having to make an early pit stop. He is, I think, he's your last car 1 lap down.
And the only car 2 laps down is Rodrigo Capoletto. He's just putting in the laps right now, hoping to vulture a few spots if there's some attrition ahead of him. That is your 13 car through the field run there.
And Soup, I have to take you back once again to Mehdi Mokrani, because that story is just incredible. I'm looking through his lap times right now. Incredible steady 14 minutes.
He's going to no-stop this thing.
I don't know how he does that, but those lap times are incredible for how he manages his fuel right now. And lap 39 he's going to complete right now. And at this point, I'm not even sure anymore if he still races with a Formula 1 engine or if he has a Volkswagen TDI as he finally comes in pit lane.
That's funny. Good job, Steph. All right, so he is in 9th. Erden goes by. Let's pick up McLeod.
McLeod just had a mistake. Actually, that was through Mergulo.
And look at this. Macroni's going to come out. And I said he would slot down into 12th position. I lied to you. He's going to come out in 10th.
Yeah. Where is Mustafa, actually? He is... I do not know. I don't even see him. There he is. Yeah, he's ahead of him. There we go. That is 8.5 seconds and 16 seconds behind. So Mehdi Mokrani just has to finish this race, and he's gonna get himself a top 10 position.
So Clayton McLeod has 15 seconds to make up on Mokrani here with 7 laps to go. Not sure that's going to happen. Here's our leader. We went through the field, cycle all the way through. 9 cars on the lead lap. And the king of them all is Mark Usher. Looking through the field right now to see if there's any battles out there at all, and I just don't see anybody within even a driving iron of anybody here.
The incredible steadiness of Mark Usher, mind-blowing is what that is. He backed off his own pace. He's now doing 13.1s. Last 2 laps were 13.1s within just a few hundred, between a few thousandths of a second. Antonio Poveda, he is faster at this point by just a bit, but that is because Mark Usher lets him be faster.
Let's go to 11th. This is always entertaining. Let's go to Clayton McLeod. Coming up behind him, one of the San Filippo boys, the faster of the 2 today, Marco. Focus on this one. Now, this is not a battle for position. This is the lap car, and when Antonio Poveda is going to watch this on the broadcast and say, what the heck is going on? That's McLeod lets San Filippo by so politely. All right, well, makes you wonder if there's a little history or something we don't know about between McLeod and Poveda.
One history that is being made right now is the sun. It's out.
Hey! There we go. That's good news for all these.
Yeah, and that track temperature, you have to watch it. It's right now up to 87 Fahrenheit. that was down to already 82 Fahrenheit. So sun comes out and immediately the track temperature shoots up. So that's something that these guys have to watch, already up to 88 Fahrenheit now, as the sun continues to have a little bit of a break there as Thomas Knoll comes in for his second pit stop, which we pretty much expected.
Yeah, that's pretty much his scheduled pit stop, as the first one was for repairs. And he comes back out onto the track. And all the beautiful Brazilian race fans get to shed a layer of clothing with the sun coming out.
Yeah, with all the UV shining on the track. Now track already up to 90 Fahrenheit, so in just a matter of 2 laps, picked up 8 Fahrenheit. So these guys probably not used to this in this race so far, so that might have more and more problems of implication of problems here for the drivers in the last laps of this race.
So with things settling down a bit, let's talk big picture here. Again, Usher, I don't know if he's the favorite because he is one drop race away, one missed event from not being in the picture at all, but eventually he will start to show up. Not only will he shows up in the drop standings, but even in the raw points as well. You got to figure he's going to be tough. Pavetta, though, is right behind him. You know, even in the drop standings, Pavetta was only 6 points back. So he'll be in the mix as well.
You know, if I wouldn't know it better, I would say that what Antonio Ortiz Poveda did today is a championship drive.
Yep.
Starting from that last up to P2. If I don't know what else to call it than a championship drive.
Yeah, and even though there was only a 12 cars in front of him, and he was able to get 11 of them, I think if there would have been double that, he would have got them too. He is clearly the second fastest car on the track today. And you know what? That's really not even fair, because we don't know what he had maybe for Usher, given a chance to race with him, because he really didn't get the chance.
I still think that Usher would have cleared him because of his incredible pace he showed at the very beginning. As the sun moves again behind the clouds, the track temperature did shoot up finally to 94 Fahrenheit. So we gained 12 Fahrenheit over the course of just 3 laps here. So the tarmac really loving the sun, but the drivers probably are more happy now that the sun is again away, because that means more grip for them.
Now, we look in there. Let's go up to so we see this pass being made. Let's talk about a driver in 4th position. He's coming up on the back of a lap car of McCranie. This is Thomas Seeger. He has had a season where I don't know if he has. I think his best finish is 4th, but I think his worst finish is right around like 7th or 8th. He always gets in the points. He gets that pass made on McCranie. That was a lap car. Again, doing what he does all season long. This get a top 5 finish.
Being consistent, nearly as consistent as Tommy Onhola, who sadly isn't here today.
Yeah, that's a big loss for him, and Onhola didn't have a lot of drop insurance left, so he's going to fall down. Any championship hopes for him are gone probably with this miss. Well, we've almost got to the white flag now as our leader comes out of the final corner. Flagman reaches down, picks up a new one, waves it with enthusiasm, going underneath. 1 lap to go for the English driver Mark Usher.
Yeah, always have to remember, even though we are racing Formula 1 cars, a white flag does not mean that there's a slow car ahead of you. No, it's the last lap of this motor race.
He heads down into corner number 4. That long sweeping left-hander. Now down into the English translation is the horseshoe, then through Little Orange. I hope you all appreciate the lengths I went to get the English translations, because my Portuguese not so good. Through Small Pine into Duckbill. I like to call it Cyrano de Bergerac, but that's something else. Through Dive, Corner number 12. Nothing now between Usher and the checkered flag. This is the Batteries Not Included 2019 Spring Season Championship, and that's going to go round number 8 to Mark Usher.
Poveda making his drive pretty much now coming over the finish line. Clearly happy with his lap as he waves to the crowd.
His country-mate Xavi Ross going to come across in the final podium position. Ziegler, the German driver, coming across.
Marco Sanfilippo crossing the line now ahead of his brother Danilo Sanfilippo, who is right now coming through Subida dos boxes.
2 more drivers on the lead lap. Ian Ash. And finally, a quiet run from Christian Rose. 8 cars out of 13 finish on the lead lap. Mark Usher, the best of them all. The racing is over here in South America, but our broadcast is far from done. We'll take a short break, but then we'll come back to run down the entire finishing order, talk to some of the drivers before we put a lock on the gate. You're watching GSRC on IESN. streaming cyberspace into your place on the iRacing Esports Network. From Jose Carlos Pace, just as the Global Sim Racing Channel's Round 8 coverage of the Batteries Not Included 2019 Spring Season Championship. Let me take a second to talk a little about IESN, the best of the best in the iRacing World Championship, as well as private leagues like the one you're watching right now, are showcased right here on the iRacing Esports Network. If you haven't done so yet, make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss a moment of the action. GSRC is proud to be part of the IESN stable of broadcasters. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and give you the official finishing order. 13 drivers took the grid. I'll take the top 6. Mark Usher goes 4 for 4 this season. 4 races entered, 4 races won, 4 races no-showed. Going to be interesting points. Antonio Ortiz Poveda comes home in second, again in a similar position to Usher, doing well in the points that way. Xavi Ross, he gets a third position and continues to be a threat for the championship as well. Thomas Ziegler continues to do what he does, and that is get a solid performance as he gets fourth. And the San Filippo guys go fifth and sixth. It's Marco ahead of Danilo. Stefan?
Ian Ash going a little bit backwards from P5. He finishes in P7, 48.5 seconds back on your race winner of Mark Usher. Christian Rose, the last car on the lead lap, puts his number 3 car down in P8, 52 seconds behind. Then we go on to the cars that are lapped down. Mustafa and Erden leads that in 9th ahead of Mehdi Mokrani, who put his car very late onto the tracks to take his fuel on for the last stint. Clayton McLeod in P11 ahead of Thomas Knoll, P12. Both of them very missable races today. And Rodrigo Capiteto, the only car 2 laps down. He was the Brazilian driver on his home turf and not able to sadly capitalize on that.
All right, I have the honor of talking to our second place finisher today, Antonio Poveda. Antonio, I guess you just didn't feel like qualifying, huh?
Yeah, in fact, my internet didn't let me do qualifying, but I did an 11.8, so that would be second position. And I don't know why the lap didn't count. I guess my internet just got a cut, and the lap didn't count.
You worked your way. You made up some excitement on that very first corner there. Were you able to get around the cars that were spinning in front of you on the first lap?
Yeah, it was. I was talking to my spotter, doing in a strategy for first corner. I said I want to go to the inside because I know how the accidents happen here, and if I get a good start just for the first meters, I want to go in front of that car that was 3 places in front of me, because I know I'm good at starts, but I didn't expect that good start. I mean, I overtook 6 cars before arriving the first corner, and then the accident happened. I went to the inside, and that's pure luck, being where you have to be. And yeah, it worked out. Then I overtook Clayton in the next straight, and I was suddenly fourth. So yeah, I'm glad the grid wasn't too big today. Otherwise, I would have started really at the back.
You didn't have anything for Mark Usher. You had a nice battle with Xavi Ross, but really, now be careful how you phrase this here, but maybe your most exciting racing was with a lap car of Clayton McLeod.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't call that exciting, but yeah, I mean, I don't think his attitude was correct. I mean, you're a lapped car, and I don't know what's his problem with me, because he let everyone pass except me, and I was really close to we having a crash, because he opened the door for me twice in the middle sector, and I went for the inside, and then he closed the door, and I had to correct the car. I don't know what's his problem with me, but I don't know what happened there, and that's not fun because you're not racing with that car.
That's funny. We noticed that point you made out as well there, that he was kind to somebody else. So you guys may want to talk, maybe have a virtual beer or something, figure out what's going on there. Hey, congratulations. Look, you're still we still have you in the hunt for the championship here. We think you're in a good position. Mark Usher, though, he's going to be tough to catch.
Yes, but yeah, Silverstone race really let me down, because I'm going to miss next race. I won't be able. So that's my 5th drop, and yeah, that's going to be a problem. So I had all my hopes to do a nice Silverstone race, so that I will have my 4 drops with, the computer problem, internet problem, and all that stuff, and I'm missing 2 races. But yeah, I'm going to fight, and I'm going to have fun as much as I can, get the best results as possible, try to entertain everyone here.
It is fun to watch you race. Congratulations on the great drive through the field. Second place today.
Thanks a lot.
All right, with that done, our interviews are over, so we're going to close it up here on the Global Sim Racing channel. Let's tell you who made this race possible. And that's all the people in the Williams iRacing community, and especially Clayton McLeod, for organizing the series and contracting with GSRC to broadcast it. On screen now are just some of the companies that provide the software and hardware GSRC uses to stream cyberspace into your place. Additional thanks to June Lalonde, who provides our wonderful music. See the screen to how to get a hold of more of her great work. The Batteries Not Included returns in 1 week. That's going to be round 9, and to be honest with you, I didn't mark that down, so I don't know where we're going, but you'll want to tune in. Oh, I know where we're going. It's going to be Imola. It's going to be Imola. There we go. You can see it on screen. So you don't want to miss that one. Make sure you tune back in. Now, where am I here as I once lost my place in the script? We're going to go down. If you'd like more information about GSRC, go to Global Sim Racing Channel. How about Twitter at GSR Channel, Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, Instagram at GSRC_Graham. All the upcoming races for our other series are listed on screen, so check those out and mark them down on your calendar. Also, if you haven't done so yet, become a YouTube subscriber by heading over to our YouTube page and hitting that big red button. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, that would be Steph and Sean and Dougie, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. As it is, Mark Usher picks up his 4th win of the season here for round number 8 from Interlagos. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle. So until next time, race clean, race hard, and we'll see you on the track.